starting awfully early today, aren't we? Yes, Ellen. She is she? We'll send her in. I've got a feeling if this coffee doesn't wake me up, you're going to.
Good morning, Derek. I trust you slept well.
You doing up and about so early today?
I have to be in the courtroom in an hour. The judge is going to tell me today whether I get my little baby back or not.
Good luck.
I was hoping you could go with me.
I'm sorry, my schedule makes that impossible. And besides, what could I possibly do there?
You could support me. You don't know what it's like in that courtroom. Nobody there cares about me.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
The fools are acting like I committed some kind of a crime. This whole town is against me.
You know, Raven, if you spent as much effort trying to make friends as you do alienating people, you might have quite a fan club.
Oh, you think so? Well, no one in this town understands me. As a matter of fact, I might as well buy a one-way ticket somewhere, and everyone would stand in line to help me pack my bags.
Feeling sorry for yourself isn't going to solve anything.
Oh, really? Would you miss me?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Well, I'm flattered. You'd be the only one. Maybe we can become pen pals.
Running away never solved anything either.
Maybe I have somewhere to run to.
Leaving Monticello would be tantamount to an admission of guilt, just letting everybody know that what they think about you is really true.
Who cares? Because none of it matters.
Well, in my book, only a criminal runs away.
Well, Cliff Nelson already thinks I'm a criminal. As a matter of fact, I'm really surprised that he and Deborah Saxon are not here right now, trying to figure out a way to send me to prison. Or have they figured it out already?
No, I haven't seen Nelson recently, and Deborah's not due in yet.
I haven't been that lucky.
Although I tell you, I'm considering setting up a meeting with Nelson. I'd like to hear him put enough words together so as to give me a reasonable explanation for his unauthorized visit to the Unicorn.
Cliff Nelson has a very, very bad habit of poking his nose where it doesn't belong.
Yeah. It's bad enough that a private citizen would commit an act like that, but you'd think if anybody would know better, a lawyer certainly would.
You know, Derek, everything is done with. So why don't you just save yourself the aggravation and drop the whole thing?
No. No, I'm not going to drop it. He committed an unlawful act.
Come on, why don't you just forget about it? Don't see him.
When you came in here, you were real upset about what he did. Now that I try to do something, you want me to drop it?
I just don't want to provoke him, all right?
Provoke him into what?
Cliff Nelson is a clown who by some fluke managed to get a law degree. Now, if you make trouble with him, then he's going to try to get even.
Why are you so scared of Nelson?
I am not scared of Cliff Nelson. If you make trouble for him about his break-in, then he's going to tell everybody about my break-in, if that's what you want to call
You had
it.
a key of your own. You had more right to be there than he did.
All right, you know that and I know that, but Cliff Nelson is going to omit that little detail and make me look like a crook.
All right. All right, I don't suppose anything would be gained hollering at Nelson. I'll drop it.
Good. I think that would be the sensible thing to do.
All right, with all of this out of the way, are you still concerned about Nelson?
Yes, because he has a very big mouth.
Is he been saying things against you?
Cliff Nelson would love to defame my character, if only to get into Deborah Saxon's good graces.
Nobody is going to do anything to you.
Well, then why don't you come to the courtroom and see for yourself?
Because in an hour I have to meet with the commissioner, and before that I got a meeting with Miles Cavanaugh.
Well, Derek, if you were there, he wouldn't dare say anything about me.
I'm sorry, Raven, it just cannot be done.
Yes, I know. You're a busy man. All right. Then I won't take any more of your precious time.
Look, I'm sure everything is going to work out all right.
Yes, it will. Because I'll just have to fend for myself as usual.
Cliff Nelson reporting for duty, sir.
Oh, good morning, Cliff.
Certainly is. Saw a beautiful sunrise this morning.
You got up early, didn't you?
Did you know that they collect the garbage in my neighborhood at 4 a.m.? I never knew that before.
Sounds like you didn't get much sleep.
Not a wink.
What's the matter? Something upsetting you?
Deborah and Calvin came over last night, and you know cops. They love to tell you stories about killers and people who commit mayhem.
And you let that get to you?
Oh, I have been dealing with some very dangerous people. You never know when one of them might be out to get you.
Good morning.
Morning, Draper.
Anna told me I could find the two of you in here. Don't you think we better get going if we're going to make court in time?
Well, I just hope Cliff will be able to stay awake long enough to hear the verdict.
Burning the candle at both ends. Or don't tell me you finally got a date with Judge Wellington's new legal assistant?
Wishful thinking.
I'm afraid the latest addition to our firm had a bout with insomnia.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Cliff.
Oh, after this custody case, I'll be able to close my office door and put my feet up on the desk and get some sleep.
Snoozing on company time.
Well, after today, I won't have anything else on my desk. I have nothing else to work on. I hate not to be able to earn my keep, but there's nothing else.
Wait a second. I know something you could do that could occupy your time.
I don't do windows.
No, we have an unofficial client that you might want to look after, if it's okay with Mike. Kelly McGrath?
Oh, that'd be fine with me. I'd be happy to advise Kelly.
You know, that's a good idea, Draper. I would like someone here to keep on top of Kelly's predicament.
Why, Mike, there is no way that he killed Elliot Dorn. Because I know who killed him. Not you guys, but my stomach's in knots.
You won't be long now.
I'd like to get it over with, that's all. I think I'm going to have to hold onto the table while Judge Lewis is reading his decision to keep my hands from shaking, you know?
Logan, everything is going to be fine. You just wait and see.
Logan, the chances of our winning the case are excellent.
Thanks to Carr, Scott, and Nelson, I had quite a team of lawyers backing me up.
You deserve custody of the child. All Mike and Cliff had to do was point that out to the judge.
Cliff, Mike, I want to thank you for all you've done. No matter how the judge decides to resolve this, I know that you did everything under the sun to help me, and I'm going to be grateful eternally.
Well, I certainly hope you can bear with the decision, regardless of how it goes.
I had my day in court. I don't have much choice.
You've had a lot of wonderful people in your corner during this whole thing.
Yeah. I've been awfully lucky to have people like you to rely on.
Just hang tough, Swifty.
Oh, look what the ill wind just blew in.
All rise. The family court of the county of Monticello is now in session. The Honorable Aaron C. Lewis presiding. Be seated.
The decision for custody is very difficult at best. So many issues have to be taken into consideration that are not black and white, but are subtle shades of gray. Ordinarily, it's not a question of determining that one parent is good for the child and that the other is bad, but which parent will put forth the better example, which will be the better provider, protector, teacher, who can and will provide the necessary ingredients that will afford the child the opportunity to develop in a happy and healthy environment. Now, I want to assure both parties that I have entered into this matter with an open mind and have studied each and every piece of evidence that has been brought before this court most carefully. And it has become clear that there are distinct differences that exist between the two parties pertaining to their desires and their motivations for custody, as well as their willingness and their ability to assume responsibility for the welfare and future happiness of the child in question. More often than not, the mother is presumed to be the party best qualified to serve as a single parent. Mrs. Swift presented herself before this bench as a loving and a devoted mother, a woman willing to go to great lengths for the sake of motherly love. I must confess that I was very moved by her testimony. It was becoming increasingly difficult for me to go against a long-standing precedent, until that most heralded letter appeared before this court. Mrs. Swift's willful and shameful attempt to deceive this court renders the previously mentioned precedent invalid. It is quite obvious that Mrs. Swift does not have the welfare of her son at heart. At the same time, Mr. Swift has impressed the court that in his care, Jameson Swift will never lack for the love and attention he needs and deserves. And based on that conviction, I hereby award custody of Jameson Swift to the father. Court's adjourned.
All rise.